Have you ever wanted something so badly it felt like a part of you was missing without it? Let me tell you a story about a young boy named Alex. For him, that missing piece was a computer. Alex lived and breathed video games, not playing them, but watching others play. He'd stand outside electronics stores, mesmerized by the flashing screens, or watch gameplay videos over his friends' shoulders. The thrill, the strategy, the digital worlds, he craved it all. But for Alex, this world was always just out of reach. His family didn't have much money, and a computer, especially a gaming one, was a luxury they simply couldn't afford. It would have been easy for him to feel sad, to just accept that his dream was impossible. But Alex wasn't built that way. Instead of despair, a fire of determination lit up inside him. He told himself, if I can't be given a computer, I'll earn one myself. And so, his mission began. Alex transformed into the neighborhood's go-to-helper. He mowed lawns in the scorching sun, walked dogs rain or shine, and helped carry groceries for elderly neighbors. In school, he became a tutor, using his own knowledge to help others while earning a little extra cash. Every single penny he earned, no matter how small, went into a glass jar he kept under his bed. He counted every night, watching it grow slowly, each coin a tiny step closer to his dream. It wasn't easy. There were days he was so tired he could barely keep his eyes open. He saw his friends spending their money on snacks and toys, and for a moment, he'd feel a pang of jealousy. But then he'd remember the glowing screens, the roar of a virtual engine, the triumphant music of a final boss battle, and his resolve would harden like steel. Months turned into a year, and then another. The jar was getting heavier, but it was still far from enough for a new computer. Did Alex give up? Not a chance. He realized that waiting wasn't enough. He had to prepare. He started spending his afternoons at the local library. They had a few old, clunky computers that most kids ignored. But for Alex, they were portals to another universe. He didn't just browse the web. He devoured information. He read articles about computer hardware, learning what a CPU was, what RAM did, and why a good graphics card was essential. He discovered free coding websites and began teaching himself the basics of programming languages, like Python and C++. The librarian, a kind woman named Mrs. Gable, noticed his daily dedication. She saw the intense focus in his eyes as he typed lines of code, his brow furrowed in concentration. She would often leave books on programming and game design on the table for him. Silent encouragement for the determined young boy. At home, he'd borrow his mom's smartphone to watch tutorials. He learned about game engines like Unity and Unreal. He studied the art of storytelling in games, level design, and character creation. He was building his dream, not with bricks and mortar, but with knowledge and skill. He wasn't just a boy who wanted to play games anymore. He was becoming a creator, a builder of worlds, even without the tools. His passion was so infectious that his story started to spread around the small town. People would talk about that kid Alex, the one who was trying to build a computer from sheer willpower. One day, a volunteer from a local charity, Tech for Tomorrow, heard about him from Mrs. Gable. They were an organization that refurbished old electronics and gave them to deserving individuals. They were moved by Alex's unwavering dedication and his proactive approach to learning. A few weeks later, a van pulled up outside Alex's house. The volunteers carried in a large box. Alex's heart hammered against his ribs. He opened it, and his breath caught in his throat. Inside was a complete desktop computer. It wasn't brand new, but it was a solid gaming rig, lovingly restored and ready for action. His eyes, sparkling with unshed tears, scanned the components of a decent processor. A dedicated graphics card, more RAM than he had ever dreamed of. The moment he pressed the power button and the screen flickered to life, bathing his room in a soft blue glow, was a moment of pure magic. It was the culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and relentless hope. He had done it. His dream was sitting right there on his desk. You might think this is where the story ends, with Alex finally getting to play all the games he ever wanted. And he did, for a while. He explored vast open worlds, competed in high-octane tournaments, and experienced the stories he had only ever watched from the sidelines. It was everything he had imagined and more. But something incredible happened. After a few weeks of pure gaming bliss, Alex felt a familiar pull. It was the same curiosity and drive that had sent him to the library every day. He wasn't content just playing the games anymore. He wanted to make them. He had all this knowledge, all these skills he had painstakingly acquired. He booted up the game engine he had only ever read about and started to build. His first project was simple, a small platformer game, but with every line of code he wrote, with every pixel he placed, he felt a joy that even surpassed the thrill of playing. He was creating. He was bringing his own worlds to life. Years flew by. Alex went to college, studying computer science and game design. His passion now his formal education. He never forgot the struggle, the jar of coins, the old library computer. Those memories fueled him, reminded him of where he came from and how far he had journeyed. And what happened to Alex? He became a lead designer at a major game development studio. He created games that weren't just fun, but that inspired others. Games that told stories of hope, perseverance, and the power of chasing a dream. Millions of children around the world played his creations, feeling the same sense of wonder he once felt while staring through a shop window. Alex's story teaches us something profound. It's not about what you don't have. It's not about the obstacles or the disadvantages. It's about what you do with what you have. It's about taking that spark of a dream and fanning it with hard work, dedication, and an unbreakable will. Dreams don't just happen. They don't work unless you do. So whatever your dream is, no matter how far away it seems, remember Alex, start with what you have, learn, grow, and never, ever give up. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiration. See you next time.